The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Here are the top stories of the hour. President Bongbong Marcos will push for the finalization of a code of conduct in the South China Sea at the 42nd ASEAN Summit. Marcos Jr. told reporters in Indonesia that a code of conduct is needed to ease tension in the disputed waters. He admitted, however, that separate bilateral negotiations between ASEAN countries and China remain a challenge.
I'll bring it up again because when we talk about the issues in the West Philippine Sea, South China Sea, hindi magkakalma yan hanggang meron na tayong code of conduct.
The president also said that he will discuss with other ASEAN countries the conflict between China and the U.S. over in the Taiwan Strait. He explained that they need to agree on the concept of ASEAN centrality to recalibrate the response on the issue.
Parang inevitable, unavoidable yung subject matter na yan. Dahil pare-pareho na mga membro ng ASEAN, siyempre it is a grave concern to all the member states of ASEAN.
Meanwhile, Marcos Jr. said he expects ASEAN leaders to make an aggressive push to revitalize the region's economy. He claimed that global economies are turning towards Asia, which appears to be adjusting better than other regions. The two-day 42nd ASEAN Summit formally began earlier today in Labuan Bajo, Indonesia.
You know, we've seen sa EU, we've seen sa ibang lugar that the global economies are also turning towards Asia. But tinitignan din ang Southeast Asia and ASEAN, and that's what the subject matter will be, is that how do we play the part that we want to play, which is going to be the global locomotive of the global economies.
President Bongbong Marcos hints at a possible reorganization of his cabinet. The president made the remark in Indonesia last night ahead of his attendance at the 42nd ASEAN Summit. Marcos Jr. noted that he has already seen officials who have performed well. This comes a year after he was elected into office and the end of the year-long appointment ban on the losing candidates in the May 2022 election. The president said he is eyeing potential cabinet members among candidates who lost in last year's poll.
By the end of the first year, para maging maliwa, in a sense, tapos na yung OJT ng lahat ng tao. And we've seen who performs well and who is will be important to what we are doing. So, yes, there's really going to be, I don't know about reshuffle, pero reorganization sa kabinete.
The government of Timor-Leste has rejected the request for asylum of suspended lawmaker Arnie Teves. In a statement on Tuesday night, the Foreign Affairs Department says Timor-Leste's Interior Ministry confirmed to the agency that the country has denied Teves' application. The DFA adds that the Timor-Leste government gave the suspended lawmaker 5 days to depart from Timor-Leste. The lawmaker may also file an appeal during this period. Asylum is a protection that could be given by another country to an individual who had to flee their original country due to fears of persecution or harm. If this is granted, the individual may remain in the other country. But earlier on Tuesday, Justice Secretary Boying Remulla said Teves does not deserve to be granted asylum. Remulla said the Philippines wrote a letter to Timor-Leste to block Teves' application. The suspended congressman is the alleged mastermind in the killing of Negros Oriental Governor Roel Tegamo.
Well, there's a special provision in law for that. If you want to seek asylum, usually it's just for political purposes. But we don't see any political reason for him to seek asylum in Timor-Leste. It's really for not wanting to face the consequences of certain actions by which he is being held to account for.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on the One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Jago Castro. The Asia United Bank, or AUB, says it has already put on hold the account that supposedly received funds from unauthorized GCash transactions. In a statement, AUB said they are now cooperating with GCash on its investigation into the matter. AUB adds that they are now looking into the said account. East West Bank, which also supposedly received funds from unauthorized GCash transactions, said it is also cooperating in the investigation. GCash has earlier confirmed that all funds of users affected by the reported unauthorized transactions have been returned. In a statement, the mobile wallet reiterated that its customers did not lose their funds on GCash. It added that the app is now up for service and that people can safely proceed with their regular transactions. Digital Pinoy said it had received nearly 200 complaints about unauthorized transactions. According to the group, these GCash users lost more than 6 million pesos in total amount. One tech expert believes that the mobile wallet may not be held liable as this was a case of individual hacking.
Nangyayari itong ganito pag yung mga user nagiging biktima ng phishing. So ibig sabihin nag-input sila ng account, nag-input sila ng credentials nila sa mga fake na websites at fake na mga app. So kaya nananakaw yung data natin. So pwedeng nabigay nila yung account nila sa mga kaibigan nila. So maraming possibility. So kasi kung GCash, halimbawa GCash mismo ang nahack, hindi lang ganito ang mawawala. Mas malaki pa yung mawawala sa mga sa GCash mismo.
Yesterday was a busy day for Team Philippines in the Southeast Asian Games as some of the highly anticipated matches happened on Tuesday. Let's start with Gilas Pilipinas. Gilas started its redemption campaign back to Southeast Asian hoops domination with an annihilation of Malaysia 94-49. Brandon Ganuela's roster led Gilas in scoring with 15 points while Justin Brownlee had 11 points. Meanwhile, the Philippine women's volleyball team is off to a rousing start in its bid to end an 18-year medalless drought. The Filipino squad routed the Cambodians in straight sets on Tuesday. The Filipino Lady Spikers will get their first acid test later today against regional powerhouse and perennial silver medalist Vietnam. Moving over to gymnastics, make that 3 gold medals for Carlos Yulo in the SEA Games. Yulo made up for a silver medal in rings by capturing the parallel bars gold medal, while teammates John Ivan Cruz and Juancho Miguel Besana ruled the floor exercise and vault apparatus. In football, the Filipinas defeated Vietnam 2-1. However, a 5-1 win for Myanmar over Malaysia in the other game means the Philippines misses out on the semifinals. Let's check out the medal tally so far in the SEA Games. Thailand makes a lead with 40 gold medals, while host country Cambodia slid to 3rd spot behind Vietnam. The Philippines sits at 4th spot with 25 gold, followed by Indonesia. And that's it for this hour. I'm Jago Castro. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. We are One News. All sides, all the time.